Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a little bit of a while since we last filmed. How long's it been? I've got Emily behind me.
About a week.
About a week? No, it's not. International Week. International. This video is going terribly. You can tell how rusty I am. International Week is 2 weeks, so since we last played QPR, by the time this goes out, it's going to be like 13 days. And I'm filming in temporary circumstances today. I've spent the whole week in London, so as I'm recording this, it's Wednesday night, and obviously you can tell it's not an unusual setup, so apologies about that, and apologies if the sound's a bit echoey. I'm in the kitchen sort of area. So, West Brom, Friday night, under the lights at St Andrews. What can we say about this game? Does anybody expect anything from this game? I'm probably going to say not. If we're being realistic here, we know that this is not something we looked at when the fixtures came out, and certainly not now on the form table where we're saying, yeah, 3 points needed, guaranteed. Obviously 3 points are needed, but no, you don't guarantee 3 points in this league anyway, but you look at more games with a bit more interest, and this is certainly not one of them. However, obviously it does hold some interest being West Brom. First time we've played them in the league since 2011, and we all know how that one ended, disastrously, 3-1. There was a season we went down, and to be honest, thinking back on my years, watching Blues against West Brom, we don't have a great record against them. They seem to be a bit of a bogey team for us. I wish Emily would stop moving around for a second. So, just looking ahead to the fixture, I don't think much needs to be said about last time out against QPR. We know it was disappointing. We know we should have come away with 3 points, but we didn't play well enough, and we just didn't deserve to win that game. I thought, if anything, we were lucky not to lose it. But when West Brom come here in fine fettle form, some would say, obviously they beat QPR 7-1. They drew at Forest, same as us, granted, but they beat Stoke, and they are, I believe, just check the table quickly, they are 9th, but they are 4 points off the top of the table. They are sitting in 9th. They started the season poorly, obviously they lost to Bolton. But looking at their last 3 results, not including the cup game, which they won 2-1, they beat Stoke 2-1, they lost away at Middlesbrough 1-0, not the worst result in the world, and then obviously they beat QPR 7-1. And then if you go back a little bit further, you're looking at a 4-3 win away at Norwich. So it's going to be a tough game, and I like the way Darren Moore sets up his teams. I think they're lining up with this sort of 3-4-1-2, I believe. From when I remember, they lined up with Sam Johnson in goal, one of the best goalkeepers in the league. You're looking at a back three of Cole Bartley. I can't remember his name, the lad from Man City. Adarabeo, I can't say his name, I've butchered that. And Hegazi. I mean, 2 of those for me are Premier League defenders in Hegazi and Bartley. And then they play with that wing-back system. They play Gibbs as a left wing-back, obviously. He's equipped to a left-back. And Matt Phillips on the right, probably more of the attacking one. And when they're defending, they'll slot in as a back four, Gibbs at left-back and Adebayo at right-back. But obviously when they're attacking, they stick as a 3 at the back. And Gibbs pushes on down that left-hand side. And I thought he was outstanding when I went to watch them against QPR. Consistently, he was their main threat down the left-hand side, so that's going to be something we've got to watch out for, and hopefully Collins doubling up with Hotter to prevent that sort of attack. And then you've got people like Jake Livermore and Chris Brunt. Chris Brunt, plenty of experience, and Jake Livermore was an England international going back a year ago, so plenty of ability in that midfield. And if we can't get a grip of the game early and not give the ball away really cheaply, we need to be keeping the ball as well as we can at home, because West Brom are going to punish you if they're able to get the ball and knock it around their way and dictate the game. It's going to cause massive problems for us, and I just can't see us winning if we're not on top of them from the start. Harvey Barnes playing in the number 10 role for them. I thought he was their best player going back against QPR. I thought he ran the game. His footwork's incredible. His eye for a pass is really good. And he's somebody that I would highlight as their key player, watching from the last game. Beautiful technical ability, so we need to really get in on him hard. And somebody I would have thought Kifton Bell will probably try and pick up. if we do play the system, the 4-4-2. I don't think we will. I think this might be the day that Monk switches up his system, but I'll talk about that a little bit later on. And then a forward two of Gayle and Rodriguez. And I mean, what more needs to be said about that? Rodriguez was linked with a move away all summer. I'm surprised he did stay with West Brom, but I suppose if they can bounce back straight away, what's the season in the Championship to him? And Dwight Gayle, I think, is a Premier League forward. Plenty of pace up front with those two. Plenty of finishing ability. Completely the opposite to what we've got at the minute. So it's going to be a tough game. I think I really struggled to see us winning this game. But as the optimist that I am, I still think we could get something from it if we're on top of our game. We play like we've done before the QPR game. All the chance that we could get a point out of this game, I would happily take that as well. If we're being realistic, I know I've said for a lot of games I'd take a point this season, but we have to be realistic and look at where we've finished the last 2 seasons and then say that we're not the strongest team in this league and we're not up there with the top 10. So that's something we need to address. But looking at the starting lineup, I think he's going to change it purely to match up with their system, because if they overload us, it's going to cause us some nightmare problems and we'll just falter like QPR did. So I think he's going to go with I think he's going to go with Lee Camp in goal. He's not going to change that, is he? Let's be honest. Plenty of experience, and he's going to stick with him because he's got to show faith in his goalkeeper. And then a back four of I think he'll go for a back four of Morrison, Dean in centre of defence. I'm mixing up my words here. And Collan at right and Pedersen at left. I don't see any change in the back four. I think they've been solid most of the season. Even against QPR, they were fine. So no change there, but the change comes in midfield. I think he'll switch to a 5 in midfield. Hosser on the right, a midfield 3 of Kieftenbeld, Gary Gardner and Craig Gardner, and then on the left Magoma, and then up front I think he'll start with Omar Bogle as the lone striker. Now that's simply for his pace and his energy to run in behind and try and stretch the defence, and then maybe try and get Magoma and Hosser involved a bit further up the pitch, and that gives us time to push up in the midfield 3. Probably play Gary Gardner as more of an attacking midfielder when we can, and sit Craig Gardner and Kieftenbeld a little bit deeper to pick up on their attacking players. I could be wrong. This is just my predicted lineup. I think that if we leave it to a 4-4-2, we might leave ourselves a bit too open. But saying that, I could be wrong, and he could stick with a 4-4-2 and go Jukovic and Shea up front, and have Shea drop in as a number 10 and try and drag one of their midfielders back as defensive cover, and that could try and sort of open up their midfield, meaning that they're left with one in midfield, because Harvey Barnes won't drop as a centre midfielder. He'll play as that attacking third player. So if Shea drops and pulls Livermore out, for example, they're stuck with one midfielder. That's not going to suit them whatsoever. So I could be wrong, but I think he'll match them and go 5 in midfield and then change it later in the game when it starts to stretch. And as for a score prediction, if I'm being realistic, I'm going to go with a 1-0 West Brom, but I would like to see a 1-1. It's not a game. I think it'll be a good game actually. I get the feeling that after the international break, players are going to be fired up. We're going to be ready to go, and we need that first win. I think Monk knows that, and we all know that. The sooner that comes, the better. We can't keep letting it drag on. We don't deserve to have not won a game this season. So guys, let me know in the comments below what you think of this game, and tell me if you're going. And tell me what you think of the season so far, and I'll put a video out yesterday. No, when this goes out. Yeah, when this goes out yesterday. I'll put the video out. Let me know what you think of the season so far. Was I overly critical? Was I spot on with what I said? A few people have said, yeah, you're right, the way we've summed up the season so far. So let me know in the comments below. Let me know your score predictions for Friday night's game. It's sure to be a cracker. I think we've sold 26,000, so always a good atmosphere at St Andrews on a Friday night. So guys, and I will see you in the vlog for the West Brom game.